Hi, my name is Jareese Espinosa, and today I will be discussing my survey results and recommendations on the IMA water fountain system. The purpose of this presentation is to share the results and recommendations of the survey study. The study is motivated by previous research studies which have shown that not only are people consuming considerably less water in a day than recommended, at 36 glasses less a day, but that dehydration is induced before the subjective sensation of thirst, which can compromise both cognitive and physical functions. The key results and findings from a previous field observation and interview study has helped to shape and drive the survey study in an effort to address the following design question, which is, how can we encourage the use of and improve access to drinkable water sources in the weight room on the first floor of the IMA for members who use the space to work out? In the field study, it was observed that there was poor spacing of equipment in terms of water fountains and that there was a lack of water consumption and a lack of resources encouraging water consumption. The interview study validated these findings while also providing insights into various external and internal factors as to why these behaviors occur, according to the personal opinions of the interview participants. However, the sample size for the interview was relatively small, at a size of n of 3, and may not be generalizable to the entire population. So a survey would be able to increase sample size and help validate what about the system, using the words of the interview participants, is inefficient and inconvenient from the user's perspective, as well as identify some key locations, patterns, and behaviors drawn from a larger sample. I was able to gather 15 participants where the inclusion criteria for the participants was the typical primary user of the IMA, who would be a member between the ages of 18 and 28 years old, who was usually a UW-Seattle student. The typical participant would also have some familiarity with the IMA space and working out in general, but not know every detail of the subject. However, for this study, it would be ideal to recruit participants who are not overly knowledgeable or unfamiliar with the space. This would include an exclusion of members highly familiar with the IMA layout design and/or highly involved in working out, as these members would exhibit different thoughts, opinions, and behaviors than the typical IMA member or primary user. These same principles apply to the individuals with very little to no familiarity with the IMA space and working out, as their thoughts, opinions, and behaviors in relation to the IMA space will be ill-informed or irrelevant. The survey study was created via Google Forms and was distributed to participants using a provided link in email, text, or other form of communication. The survey included a variety of questions such as multiple choice, free response, ranking, and rating that aimed to confirm, explore, elaborate, or extend previous findings. Some of the higher level questions presented in the survey were, how does one water fountain in the IMA weight room on the first floor impact your workout experience? And rate the following statement: the more strenuous lifts, such as squats, deadlifts, bench, cardio, etc., are located in the weight room where water access is convenient. It should be noted that the sample size for the survey, while still larger than the interview study, is of size n equals 15, so it is relatively small and may not be generalizable to all members of the IMA. Also, the findings from this study pertain only to the first floor of the IMA weight room and may not be applicable to other IMA floors and gyms. The first result of the survey study is that perceived convenience of strenuous lifts in relation to the water fountain is correlated with where time is spent in the weight room, where members who spend the most time in the back of the weight room, which is furthest from the water fountain and where the most strenuous lifts are located, perceive water access as an inconvenience. It should be noted that all but one participant, who was neutral, perceived the water access as inconvenient no matter where they typically spend their time. However, the members who felt the strongest about this inconvenience were more likely to spend the most time in the back of the weight room, and most of the participants do in fact spend the most time in the back of the weight room. This implies that in the area of the weight room where members typically spend the most amount of time and conduct the most strenuous lifts, water access is more inconvenient and may result in less frequent consumption. What I would recommend is installing another water fountain in the back of the weight room. This recommendation was supported by survey participants, 13 out of the 15 participants finding this recommendation as most helpful, shown in the figure on the right. The second result of the survey was that there was no perceived correlation between water intake and subjective dehydration. Participants who reported consuming only one water bottle not only reported a subjective sense of dehydration similar to those who consume considerably more water, but also there was a wide spread of responses in these individuals as to how dehydrated they felt in the weight room, where perceived dehydration responses between 2 through 4, which were disagree, neutral, and agree, had the same count in each category among individuals who consume one water bottle. This implies that individuals are not accurately gauging their level of thirst in the gym, as there is too much spread in the data where no trends are visible. This could be a result of the sample and random chance. Research conducted by Salt Marsh and the Nutrition Bulletin found that the effects of dehydration occur before the subjective sensation of thirst, so it may be that individuals simply have an inadequate ability to gauge their level of dehydration. What I would recommend is placing notification signs around the gym in various forms, such as posters on the wall, text on the floor, etc., to encourage and remind members of water consumption. The third result of the survey was that the perception of water quality negatively affects the amount of water consumed. From the chart, it can be seen that not only do the majority of participants consume only one water bottle per workout, but that of those who consume one water bottle, over 70% of these individuals reported that the water quality negatively affects their water consumption. This implies that poor water quality of the IMA reduces the amount of water consumed by its members, that the bad taste, so to speak, of the water results in members inadequately hydrating themselves. However, while it is true that there are members who reported that the water quality negatively impacts their water consumption, but still consume more than one water bottle, it should be noted that these individuals are typically advanced or expert lifters. As seen in the chart to the right, all individuals who drink more than one water bottle, except for one participant, are advanced lifters or higher, so given their expertise level, they may be outliers in this data set as they intentionally overlook the poor water quality. Given this finding, I would recommend a better filtering mechanism for the water fountains and possibly considering some kind of cooling method to provide colder water for improvement in overall quality to increase water consumption. One way of achieving this goal is to simply reinvest in the filtering system of the fountains and to improve quality control of the water. Moving forward, I would want to run another interview and survey study to validate the findings of Result 2, as Result 2 was seen having a wide spread of variability in members who consume one water bottle per workout in terms of how dehydrated they felt. A follow-up survey using a significantly larger sample would be able to see if the survey results has reliability or if this result was due to this specific sample. Also, I would like to see if there are any external or internal factors that lead members to consume only one water bottle and/or if those factors influence perception of thirst. Essentially, more questions as to why this variability is as such. In the next survey study, I would remove the question pertaining to participants' subjective level of experience in the gym, as in the chart to the right, these results do not appear to correlate with gym visit frequency, which I believe is a stronger indication of an individual's level of experience. Some of the limitations of this survey is that sample size was relatively small at a size of 15 participants and may not be generalizable to all IMA members. The hardest part of the survey was creating the graphs to display trends in the data. Much of the graphs were based on pivot tables using the data which Google Forms in Excel format inconveniently. This made displaying trends and manipulating the charts very difficult. I was surprised to see that many individuals reported consuming only one water bottle. Personally speaking, I tend to drink more at the gym and thought others did as well. It was fun creating the questions and survey itself and having a link to distribute out to others. It made the research process feel more real and gave me a sense of power, so to speak, as I could see and analyze everyone's responses.